The greatest threat is not the ice or the ship being stuck. The greatest threat is not moving forward.
The degree that you plan and prepare for your own expedition is the degree that you will be successful. This is not just a program about Antarctica. This is a program about Antarctica with a purpose. And the purpose here today is to help us be more effective in our role as a salesperson.
Separating the factors that you can control from those that you can't is one of the greatest moves that a leader can make.
It's all about what motivates you. It's all about the fire within. You've either got it or you don't. And I think all of us have it. It's just a question of how many layers do we have to dig through in order to get to it.
What will you conquer today?
What is your passion in life? What really motivates you and drives you to do what you love to do best? And the question is, how do I align that passion and that motivation with the role that I play in what I do for a living? Because it's at the intersection of where those two roads meet that magic is created, success happens, and people's lives and organizations become something that changes forever.
How dangerously do you live?
Success is a destination that lies somewhere between difficult and dangerous. And sometimes you have to be willing to tip the scales and go a little closer to being dangerous. Dangerous doesn't mean life-threatening. Dangerous can mean the risk of a relationship, the risk of something not working out financially. There's lots of ways that danger shows itself.
Everyone has an Antarctica to conquer. What's yours?
This is the photo that changed my life. When I read the story of Ernest Shackleton, his passion for the Antarctic was absolutely incredible. This is a young man who grew up in Ireland, and at age 12 and 13 was working on cargo ships sailing around the tip of South America in the winter in some of the roughest seas. People used to die on those trips just from falling overboard, getting crushed by falling cargo, getting diseases that they didn't have cures for. And this guy is out there as a 12 and 13-year-old because he's passionate and he has a vision and he has a dream. As a child, I remember him quoting, "I love it when things are hard and I hate it when things are easy." And I thought, you know, if I'm going to make a difference in my world, in my marriage, in my business, if I'm going to make things happen instead of just watching everything else that happens around me, I've got to be like that. I've got to really redefine what difficulty is. I've got to embrace it. I've got to hit it head on. Yes, I have to be smart about it. I can't be a fool, but at the same time, I just can't try every trick in the book to navigate around it and avoid it like human nature tends to have us do.
Make the practice harder, and the game goes easier.
You will play the game the way you practice. Sometimes you have to go a little bit too far in order to know how far you really can go. There is no way you will ever raise your bar in any area of your life. I don't care if you're talking about as a salesperson, as a spouse, as a parent, as a community leader, as somebody starting a business, as an employee, or the CEO of a company, or the President of the United States. Doesn't matter what country you live in, what your skin color is, what church you go to, what nation you live in, or what time period you're from. Your bar will never be raised any higher than it is today if you're not willing to take some chances and go a little bit too far close to the edge, because that's when you're going to know how far you really can push yourself.
I spent hundreds of hours and miles in this freezer. Why? Because I'm crazy? It might look that way. I call it focused. I understand it's not common practice, but the truth of the matter is, it was by design. You know, I didn't escape from a mental institution. I'm not running away from my wife. I really want to be in the freezer. When you're really focused on something, it's going to make people sort of raise their eyes a little bit and go, "Guy, you're a little bit different." And you know what? You want to be a little different. People need to perceive you as being somebody who is so passionate about what they do. See, people buy from who they like and trust. They really do. I mean, you will convince people to buy from you simply because you're passionate about what you do. Be hard on yourself every day to a certain degree. Make the practice harder and the game will go better.
It's time to move forward.
Learning is only as good as the degree that we take it forward and make changes as a result of it. Otherwise, it's just knowledge. Otherwise, it's just entertainment. Otherwise, it's just passing the time in a fun way. It's all planning and preparing. Planning and preparing. And I can't emphasize enough the importance as a salesperson, somebody who is building a business, building a legacy, building a future for themselves, changing people's lives. The degree that you plan and prepare for your own expedition is the degree that you will be successful.
The greatest threat we face is not the weather, it's not the lack of food, it's not the fact that the ship is stuck. The single greatest threat that we face is the lack of our minds not staying engaged and moving forward at all times.
Antarctic Mike works with organizations who want their people fired up, fully engaged, and focused on growing the business, not merely maintaining it. Book Antarctic Mike today. AntarcticMike.com